Lost the die roll. It's pretty bad. I'm on the Dredge side of the matchup. So this draw... Turn 1 does nothing, which is less than ideal. But turn 2, I can discard my hand, including a Stinkweed Imp, and start drawing stuff. I mean, I think it's better than a Mull, right? I've got lands, and I've got the ability to get started on turn 2. Yeah, I think I have to keep that. What's he up to? Oh, he went to 6 and scryed to the bottom. Okay, give me a better draw. Oh, mana confluence, dueling mana confluences. You're just like, I don't really care about colors. Game's not gonna last long enough for me to care about single points of damage. All right. Yeah, it's like I could play Gemstone Mine. Probably not going to tap it 3 times, but what if something goes wrong? Interesting. I guess I'm supposed to just Dangerous Wager here. My odds of actually winning from this spot are super small, but they're non-zero. So I think I go for this main phase. I got nothing else to do. What am I going to do? Summon a Bloodghast? That's not how I'm going to win this matchup. All right. Discard my hand. I'm going to pop out my graveyard and set it over here so we can keep an eye on what really matters. I will draw a Stinkweed Imp, and I'll draw Golgari Grave Troll. What are you doing to me, graveyard? Yes, I want my Narcomoeba. So 1 bridge and no Dread returns or anything. Fair enough. Now he's now threatening to go off whenever, right? He can Simian Spirit Guide. Now he's got the 3 mana. But he's not. Huh. So there's something wrong with his draw. It's good news. Interesting. So Grave Troll would dredge more cards, but I'm pretty tempted by this Dakmor Salvage for 2 reasons. One being that it'll bring back a Bloodghast, and Bloodghast plus Fate Stitcher would get me to the 3 creatures I need. The other reason is that it allows me to potentially pay the flashback cost on Faithless Looting, not this turn, but next turn. I think that's a good enough reason. I mean, he would have just killed me. Oh, he could be setting up to kill me end step. Yeah, he could be totally waiting for end step go off. Yeah, that's actually reasonably likely. So, I mean, if I'm going to win this turn, I want the Grave Troll. Actually, if I'm going to win this turn, I'm going to need creatures. I'm getting Dakmor Salvage. Like this graveyard is just nowhere close. I think I've got to play to try to win it next turn. All right. Well, I found the Narcomoeba, which means technically I didn't have to have Dakmor Salvage to get the 3rd creature. We found nothing. We still do not have a Dread return. In fact, we have just the single Grave Troll. All right. Well, we're gonna get Bloodghast. And hit you for 1. And say go. Next turn we use our draw step on Grave Troll and hope that spells Dread Return and or Faithless Looting. So he does have it. I assume we die here. Violent Outburst, sure. How big is Grave Troll? Grave Troll's like 3/3? Very exciting. Hypergenesis. Protection from everything is bad. All he's got is Hypergenesis? And a land. We can take one hit. Sure. I mean, I could in theory have even taken an Emrakul hit, although Emrakul can block. Yeah, Straw Step Grave Troll. We're live for Faithless Looting. We're live for Dread Return on Sphinx. I mean, there's a bunch of ways I can win from here next turn. You have more. Ugh. That's bad. Exile it instead. That's annoying. Doesn't actually change the way this game plays all that much. It just means I have to hit a little better. Grave Troll. Hit some stuff. We hit a bridge. We hit a Bloodghast, which we can't do. There's no Dread Return. Well, I think we're dead. Fate Stitcher. He has protection from Fate Stitcher. We have one bridge. There's the Flamekin. Two bridges. Yep, no, we didn't hit anything. Oh well. He comboed off and we fizzled. These things happen. The good news is our sideboard is kind of ridiculous. Chalice of the Void. And Chalice of the Void. Chalice of the Void, Chalice of the Void, and Blazing Archon. Basically, if we draw Blazing Archon, then his Hypergenesis kill will put this into play, which just thwarts all the Hypergenesis shenanigans. Chalice of the Void means he can't do his Cascade trick. He has to bring in Artifact Destruction, and if we have a Chalice, he has to kill it with Ingature before he can actually go off. So, all 5 of those cards are insane against him. I have these other fatties. I feel like Iona doesn't actually do anything against him because once I can cheat her into play, either I've won the game or he's won the game. Ashen Rider could, in theory, blow up, cancel out one of his fatties. I don't think that's good enough. Elish Norn doesn't do anything. Ashen Rider is okay, but like it wouldn't kill Progenitus. Now, what I take out is less clear. I feel like I'm taking out some of the fast mana. Actually, maybe Spirit God just better than Chrome Mox in this world where I'm hoping to Chalice. I mean, any Chrome Mox in my draw does come down. The slow sort of, I'm going to do multiple turns of this stuff. And then, like, these Fate Stitchers, I just don't love the Fate Stitcher part of the combo. All it does is provide a body for Dread Return. I think I can do something like this. And we'll see what happens. Definitely want to play first. Sweet. So we have a Chalice, which is awesome. We only have one land, but basically all I need is any mana, and this hand becomes amazing. And it's already might be amazing. Yeah, I need a land on turn 2 to actually be great. I'm probably okay anyway. I'm not mulliganing. I'm not mulliganing Chalice with Dredgers and discard spells. I'm a Hosey sideboard card. Are you prepared for me? It did keep 7. Who knows? Oh, Faithless Looting. That works. Who needs land? We drew land. Even better. Yeah, it's just the Grave Troll and the Stinkweed, right? There's our nice new graveyard over there. 2 mana. Alright. Awesome. We've even got the ability to flash back Faithless Looting at some point in the future. Draw step is of course going to be Golgari Grave Troll. We hit a Bloodghast. 2 more Faithless Lootings. So I think the way to play this, I guess I could flashback Faithless Looting here, because then next turn I can do Tormenting Voice and Mana Confluence. Only if I draw Dakmor Salvage. I mean, Tormenting Voice, then Dangerous Wager is the correct order. My only question is whether I'm supposed to Faithless Looting first. And I think I might as well Tormenting Voice first. Oh, I'm in some danger of running out of Gemstone Mine. But I don't want to get Bloodghasts first if they're coming. So we discard Grave Troll. Draw Golgari Grave Troll. 2 Narcomoebas, that's exciting. And there's a bridge. Come on, hit me, Stinkweed Imp. We didn't get hit, right? There's a Sphinx. There's no Dredge return yet. And now we're done drawing cards for the turn. But I'm making my land drop. I mean, we should win from here next turn. Kind of a beating. We've only hit 1 bridge. We've hit 0 copies of Dredge Return. But the Chalice seems to be doing great work. Stinkweed Imp. Hit nothing exciting. Oh, it's just Dangerous Wager. Dangerous Wager and Hope. Dredge Return up from our hand. We'll obviously get into the graveyard this way. Alright. Now what do we have? We have a Dredge Return. We have 1 bridge, 2 bridge, 2nd Dredge Return, 3 bridge, Flamekin Zealot. That should just do it, right? I guess. Yeah, you'd think. All the way down at 16 cards. So Anger's a sorcery. He can go off at instant speed and potentially make blockers. But I have 1 bridge, 2 bridge. I have 3 bridges, which means sacrificing these 3 creatures is going to make 21 zombies. I guess I can go even wider. There's no reason not to Dread Return Sphinx first. Just to make sure it's not close. I don't know what I'd be forgetting about here, but One of the cards I'm going to draw is Dakmor Salvage, so that I can get Bloodghast, so that I can make even more zombies. Now we have 14 cards, so Stinkweed and Stinkweed. It's a lot of damage we're attacking for. I hope I'm not forgetting some stupid fog effect. Pretty sure we just win from here. It's fun to see how much damage we can do though, right? And I don't think he has instant speed way to kill Chalice, so is he just off not paying attention to me? Come back! Come back, Shadow. He's back. Three Bloodghasts. And for the finisher, Dread Return, targeting Flamekin Zealot. Sacrificing Dark Amoeba, Bloodghast. How much does this add up to? It's important. He actually has a thing. What do we have? 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 creatures. So 24 creatures is 48, 58, 68, 72, 73 damage. Take that! Stupid Hypergenesis deck. Yeah, keeping Chalice seems good. Now then, one game. Let's see what happens in game 3. I don't think anything about my sideboarding changes, play versus draw. I mean, I think Spirit Guide, like top decking a Mox would be a catastrophe if I played Chalice, but I mean, the reusability of the Mox is, you know what, I'm going to split the difference. Because I do like to be able to reuse them. I wouldn't want to draw multiple Spirit Guides. You know, you want to do turn 1 Tormenting Voice, turn 2 Dangerous Wager, stuff like that. And most of my draw steps are in my opener before I commit a Chalice to the Void, Chalice of the Void to the table. All right, I like it. Let's see what happens. We have a Chalice. We have land, Faithless Looting, and we have a Dredger. I'm sold. Looks like a keeper to me. He also kept 7. I guess I'm supposed to loot first before I Chalice, just in case I draw a Chrome Mox. Second Dredger. The fact that I only have 1 mana could hurt. Oh, I still only have 1 mana. Which means this Dangerous Wager is tough. Like, I don't get to Dangerous Wager next turn, which is what I want to do. Alright, what are you going to do? I'm going to discard 2 Stinkweed Imps. And play Chalice. And hope that's good enough. Yeah, I mean, I really want to land, but I think the most efficient way to find a land is actually to dredge Stinkweeds and then eventually use my draw step on a Dakmor Salvage. Okay, he's got the Ingot Chewer. That is less than ideal. I mean, hypothetically, I could just try to draw a land off the top. But in theory, I can win without the Dangerous Wager, so I don't think that's right. I mean, if he's got a turn 3 kill, my lack of a second land here is going to hurt. But what are you going to do? Man, there's 0 lands in there. Oh, there's the City of Brass eventually. Could have tried to randomly top deck a Chalice. Yeah, I gotta go fishing for Dakmor Salvage. This is not working out as well as it looked. He had the answer to the Chalice, and Faithless Looting failed to find us a second land. He's also missing lands. Still think the plan is Stinkweed Imp. We found a Dakmor Salvage, so we can draw that next turn. Which means we can Dangerous Wager the turn after. I know, it's not great, but I feel like we did more work at least giving ourselves outs to hit Narcomoebas and to have this Dakmor Salvage trigger enough Bloodghasts to do stuff. Just more. Alright. 1 Bloodghast, not very exciting. Don't have a Dredge return anyway. Something about having 2 of them in my hand. And he still can't find his 3rd land. Awesome. Maybe we're going to win this anyway. Yeah, he discards Ardent Plate. Alright, well, I'm going to get to Dangerous Wager, so now I just want to fill a yard. Great. I don't know why I would do anything but Dangerous Wager here. I would like to put all these cards in the graveyard too. And then, so in theory, I could choose a Dakmor Salvage, but I don't think I want to. I just want to maximize the number of cards. Down to 20 cards in library. So, I've got a Dread Return, I've got a Flamekin Zealot. I've got a bunch of lands. 1 bridge, 2 bridge. It's 2 bridges. So 2 bridges is 2, 4, 6, 7. I think that's good enough. I mean, just barely, but I think we got there. What is going on with my triggers? Cool. Dredge!
So, take a look at this hand, Randy.
Oh, sorry. I clicked off the match.
I was ready.
I don't think I can get back. I already clicked out. Oh, I believe you. I'm sure you had me crushed. I'm sure you had me crushed. Sorry, I clicked off the match.
Yeah. Like, I had Oblivion Ring.
Oblivion Ring?
Yeah. That way, in case you pulled the guy that says I can't attack, or it's for both the Chalice and the guy that says I can't attack.
Hilarious.
And, of course, I had Urabask and Emrakul, and, like, some more Ingot Chewers for no good reason.
And multiple Cascade cards.
Yeah.
You literally just need a 3rd land.
Any 3rd land or a Spirit Guide. I'm going to hit draw a card and see if I win. Nope.
Well, how about it now? I only needed a 2nd land, so I feel like I don't know.
Well, you and I both needed +1 land. You just only needed 2, and I only needed 3. And then your land came to play tapped, and I'm like, This is all I got. It's this turn, now or nothing.
Yeah.
Another Urabask. So, yeah. Good game. It came down to some shady last game, though.
Yeah, I did crush you in the practice matches, though. Like, I just showed you both sides of my hand, 2 straight, no problem. So, I would have felt a little weird if Dredge won a close 3-game real match after crushing both practice games.
Well, you did win a close. Like, this was close.
I know. I'm just saying, justice. I feel like justice was served. That's my claim.
I like to claim that my deck is... No, your deck is more fun than mine, so I'd like to see yours advance.
I think my deck is more fun. My deck looks good in the matchup. I don't know if it's better against the field. Like, I thought your deck was just the most ridiculous, degenerate, bleh, vomit your hand onto the table deck. And apparently who knew? Dredge was actually that. Just better, a better version of that.
My deck gets hated, right? Like, Chalice of the Voids is free.
Right, that's part of the story here, right? You kept your hand because it had an Ingot Chewer and an Oblivion Ring, like...
Well, and Exalted and some... Like, no, I had everything except for, like, a 3rd land.
Fair.
So... But yeah, no, I had to keep those cards because those cards were important for me to do what I was doing.
That all makes sense. Those were fun.
They were fun games.
Do you want to run that one back again just for the hell of it?
No. Yeah. No, I'll see you again later in future rounds.
Well, what we can do is we can reveal next week's decks.
Sure, let's do that.
The last 4 decks you've seen here. All right, we'll do the full build. Here's Group A. Elves, Delver. Somehow Pod beat Elves. I still don't understand how that happened. Something about blocking and the combo not quite coming together. Stoneforge beat Delver, which makes a little more sense, but our Delver list, we've upgraded it now. That's probably the worst list we had. We now have a better version of Delver we're using. Group B, Death and Taxes. Oh my god, the gift pairing against Storm. Death and Taxes, there's enough degenerate combo in here. That deck may go far. And then Twin over Infect was super close, super interesting. That match was a lot of fun. That's probably one of the best 2 matches we've played so far, other than that and the one we just played. Group C, today's group, Dredge was victorious and Eggs was victorious. I gotta like Dredge's chance in that heads up. Like, it's just a race, and Dredge is like a turn and a half faster. It's like a turn 2.5 deck versus a turn 4 deck.
Agreed.
So I like Dredge's chances of going straight through. But then Hypergenesis versus Jund that'll be interesting. Hypergenesis could just 0-2 and get out. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hypergenesis is going to have to beat Jund and then I think Eggs if it wants to make the playoffs. The way it works, we play...
going to have a problem against Jund, I think.
Sorry?
I think Jund can just strip my hand. And then what do I do? Like, it'll either get rid of my big creatures or it'll get rid of my Cascade. And, like... Yeah. Then I'm going to lose to its just grindiness.
We'll see. I mean, it has to, like, disrupt you immediately.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that'll be the next matchup is Hypergenesis versus Jund. And the way it works is that 2 decks from each group go to the top 8. So whatever deck goes 2-0 goes to the top 8. The 0-2 is eliminated. The 2 1-1s will play. And the winner of that joins the playoffs. So, Group D. The last 4 decks. The Miracles deck, of course. You knew there was a Miracles deck coming. Here it is. It's actually a Josh Monk's Miracles deck. Breach Post is in. Affinity, of course. There had to be an Affinity deck. I don't think that surprises anybody. And then Thopter Depths as well. The Dark Depths combo is great. The Sword Thopter Foundry combo is great. Mixing them together seems to be better than doing just either of them by themselves. So, kind of wanted a 12-post deck. I mean, I felt like that's definitely a thing, which is banned in Modern, and I wanted to kind of try to represent everything. The Breach Post deck is one of these I'm, I guess, the most skeptical about, but it was the best 12-post variant. It just happens to be a Through the Breach deck as well, so there you go.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing the rest of the decks.
Yeah, I mean, I think gang's all here. I felt like there were probably 13 or 14 obvious decks to me as I was going through. Breach Post is one of those last couple. But hey, Dredge was one of those last couple when I started, so
sure.
I'm glad I put the last couple in. And Death and Taxes was one of my... I would have had a prison deck anyway. That's probably one of the most obvious. Anyway, that'll be next week. We'll play 2 matches of this, and then we'll go circle back through the groups again and do a second round, start crowning some playoff teams.
I like it.
All right. Thanks for playing. think we are going to wrap up the stream here. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed your taste of No Banned List Modern. It's kind of dumb. Like, it's kind of degenerate. And when it's not being kind of like blisteringly fast and just non-interactive combo decks racing, then there's a lot of mental missteps involved, which is also a little on the dumb side. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's fun for the amount that we're playing it, but thank God this isn't the real Modern format.
I wouldn't want to walk into a tournament of this on a regular basis. It's true.
Right. Not maybe once a month. Like, I know that Card Kingdom at Mox Boarding House does actually hold No Banned List Modern tournaments. Like, if it's just like every once in a while you kind of wander into the wilderness and hang out for a day, that seems to work.
It's a fine change-up. You don't want to live here.
That's where I'm at. All right, cool. See you next week, Shadow?
Yep, see you next week.
Actually, let me double check before we sign off. Your Tuesday plans are probably just fine, but I have a Grand Prix. Oh, I get back from the Grand Prix at like noon, so I don't think I have any problems with our normal stream time on Monday. Let me just double check. I am covering Grand Prix Pittsburgh is Modern. Yeah, I get back at 11 a.m., so time zones are in my favor. Same time, same place next week then.
Sounds good. See you then.
All right, see you then. See you guys out there. Then, all right, cheers.